And it still says waiting for Truth Seeker. I'm not seeing that it started. Hello, Matt. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it started. Um, I want to wait a couple minutes till some people get in here. I wanted to do this live stream so we could talk about Brian Laundrie and his family. I have some Facebook groups that I'm in, and they're crazy going with these conspiracies. And one lady, it was kind of funny because one lady put a message in there about, all of you wannabe investigators and blah, 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 blah. So, like 400 different people replied to her, and we're kind of like, why are you in a group? Because this is what groups do.
Right.
They do their armchair detective stuff and see what they come up with. So I thought that was kind of funny. But my reminder's going off now. I
Well,
thought
I mean,
that was kind of
there's so many
funny.
red flags on
But
this.
oh yeah,
You
it's
know, I
totally
mean, it's
full of
red
red
flag all the
flags.
way. I mean, come
I don't
on. I
want to
mean,
play like
it's what
total
we're actually seeing. On the news and everything. What's
right,
being
and I
shown
don't
to
want to
us? It's
play
like
full
okay,
on, yeah, full on conspiracy, but it's like this thing's messed up. And I hang on, I'm
but
trying to get my other stuff set up.
you know what? I gotta. Uh, my dad just called me. I had my phone on silent. I gotta give him a call back.
All right, jump off for a minute, and I'll just talk until you're only going to be gone a minute, right?
Yeah, it'll only be a few minutes.
All right.
All right.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna have a little bit of dead air while we wait for Matt to come back. But I don't see anybody in here yet. Um, Let me get this set up. I made a slideshow today to show tonight in the chat, and I put it on my channel unlisted at first because I was gonna play it at the beginning of the chat, and I had a song in it. And I wanted to make sure it didn't get blocked, and sure enough, it got blocked. It took me like couple of hours to put all these pictures and videos together, and then I played them to Dirty Laundry, Don Henley song, and they blocked it for the song. But anyways, while we're waiting for Matt, I also have a copy of it without the soundtrack, so I'm going to play the little slideshow. We're waiting for Matt to come back, but if you wonder why it doesn't have music, it's because they cut my music for they didn't give me a copyright strike. They just wouldn't let me do it. Hey Ronnie, how you doing? Did you hear the part I just said? No, I didn't see what you sent because I'm doing this. Do you want to come on here and read that? Because Matt's taking a break right now. He had to go answer the phone for his dad. Hello, Angelica. Um, all right, I'll read it later, Rhonda. Um, and let's see. I was saying before you guys got in here that I made this really cool slideshow and I put the Don Henley song Dirty Laundry to it, and I listed it unlisted just to see if they'd, nail it on copyright, and they did. So I'm going to show the slideshow anyways, but it's not going to have any sound because we're waiting for Matt to oh, Matt, are you back?
Yep.
Put your avatar on because we see your face.
Oh shit.
Hurry, hide, hurry, hide. Um, I was telling them I'm gonna share the screen of the video that I made, but wait a minute. Will it not let you just share a video off your holy crap. I'm gonna have to try something here. I don't know. Can you guys see this on your YouTube screen? I don't know if it's gonna let me share screen because I don't have it uploaded. I've got it on just a video on my computer. You can't see that, can you guys? Oh, this is bullcrap. It'll only let you share it if it's up in the tab, unless I did something wrong. Um, okay, well that didn't work out. Hi Matt, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Hi Pecan Pie. All right, Matt, do you know how I'm trying to share the screen, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't have this pulled up in a tab? It's like on the bottom of my thing, just like a regular video file. And I can't find the option on how to share that. Do you know?
That I don't.
Oh, wait, I just found something that said video file. Um, all right, hang on. I got to find the name of it now. Bear with me, guys. I think it's going to let me do this. All right, do you guys see that on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't have any music to it because they I had Dirty Laundry by Don Henley playing through this and I got it blocked. So anyways, I didn't want to not show the slideshow, but just kind of picture in your mind the Dirty Laundry song going with this. It was pretty funny. Not that it's funny that somebody died, but we've just been looking into the Laundry family so much. And it took me a couple hours to put this together, and I'm so mad they blocked it because of the music.
Well, of course they're going to do that.
Well, so many videos I put music to, and I swear I've used that song before, and I must not have, or I used it before and they blocked it. So I'm going to have to remember that's not a song we can use. I've got a
Mm-hmm.
list of ones I know we can use because I've used them before, but this one didn't work. But I mean, it was only like 3 minutes in, so it's not like you're missing too much. But this was way cooler the way I had everything timed with the music. If you guys know anybody, go ahead and send the link to them for the live. We'll kind of see what kind of opinions we get in here. Oh yeah, Rhonda, you can pretend like you hear the song. We got 16 watching. There's just not a lot in here chatting. So
Well, it's early. It's only.
oh wait a minute, I hear sound now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I hope the music doesn't start. This is the parents at the reserve yesterday. Yeah, this is going to be over in a second. And then also I had those lawyer interviews, which are also uploaded on the sound one, but I'm going to have to figure out how to pull those up without the sound of the song playing. Hi Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Chris.
Hang
No,
on
that's
a
the girl that
second.
was in the black, right?
The girl in the black is the one, I don't think she's the bullhorn one. She's the one that was on Wife Swap. I don't know if you know about that. Hi G.I. Joe.
No, I
Um,
don't.
yeah, there's another reality TV star that was out in the middle of all of this stuff, and that's I believe that's her. That's not Bullhorn Lady, but it's like there's two different women, but they both kind of look the same, and a lot of people get them confused. This is the attorney.
No, the screen just went black.
All right, now I need to turn that that screen sharing off. Okay. Um, so we got anyone new in the chat? Matt, what do you oh, G.I. Joe has a big family. They're thinking the song Dirty Laundry too. I never heard Dirty Laundry too. Oh yeah, she's a YouTuber too. I There's the one lady that's the bullhorn lady that got in the big fight, and I've got a video of that I can play. But then there's the other reality star lady that went up to the door, and I get both of their names confused. Ronnie will know their names. Molly Go Lightly. Okay, she's the one that went to the door that was on Wife Swap, right, Rhonda? Rhonda, I message each other about 100 times a day with the laundry stuff, so she knows the answers to everything.
What a last name to have when all this is going on. Laundry.
Which Oh, I know. Well, there's some really funny videos too, because I had just found this one today when I was putting my video together. Apparently, people were having flowers delivered to the house for Gabby. Did you know that?
To their house?
To the laundry house, yes.
Really?
So the laundries had the cops tell them, no, you can't drop them off here. Well, finally, then the cops just started. It was the florist lady. She's like, people are
Mhm.
paying for these and delivering them to this home. I have to do my job. So flowers started piling up there. And then I knew about that, but I saw a video today for the first time, and I'm going to play it. But apparently, someone went to the store and bought, like, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 little white laundry baskets and scattered the laundry's yard with them. So it's dark out in this video. It doesn't show them scattering them. It just shows the laundry's like collecting all of these laundry baskets, and whoever was there was going, asking them questions about Brian and stuff. And it was kind of funny, but at the same time, it's like I felt sorry for him. I mean, now that their son has died, I think that they deserve to be able to grieve. Like, I don't think the protesters should be bothering them and they should be playing tricks on them. But when they were keeping their mouths shut for so long, I kind of think they deserved it a little bit. Hi, Berlinda. Yeah, G.I. Joe says people have a lot of dirty laundry called sin, but what a bunch of crisis actors. This whole case, I'm telling you, I don't like to get too conspiratorial, but we got Dog the Bounty Hunter, who's a reality star. We have the Molly chick from Wife Swap. We've got the other lady with the bullhorn that I was sent a file by Misty yesterday, and there's like 46 like abuse charges of her abusing her husband, dating from 1979 all the way to almost the present. And she's out there, preaching for domestic violence and all this stuff. So it's like, and then that Jonathan Lee Ritchie out there, he holds the records for filing the most lawsuits in the United States. Like, he'll sue anybody. And he did stuff at Sandy Hook. He did stuff on the uh, Rage Against the Capitol thing on January 6th. And
Mhm.
he's been at like every major event. Like, he's really, I don't know if you want to call him like a YouTube whatever star, but it's like, yeah, I found out. I wasn't really sure who he was. And then Misty and Rhonda filled me in. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy. So, yeah, there's all these characters in this thing. And then Gabbie, coincidentally, when she was 14 years old, being in that Remembrance Sandy Hook video. I mean, I'm not saying that she's not dead and he's not dead. I'm sure they are, and I hope they rest in peace. And, I feel really sorry for their family. But this case has had a lot of weird stuff wrapped up in it.
Well, that's why I said, I mean, there's so many red flags. I mean, just by watching everything that you've seen, you see the police going in and out of there, the FBI going in and out of there, and nobody's been charged. No, nothing. Nobody's been
Pe-
questioned. Nothing.
Pecan Pie said the coroner's a violent person. I read something about the coroner because someone had told me that last week, but I can't remember now what it said. But there was something about the coroner from the past where he had a domestic violence or something weird. Maybe Pecan Pie will type it in here. Oh, Andrea Griffin, that's the bullhorn lady. With all due respect, those are past charges, including the coroner. Yeah, the coroner is past. Um, The other lady with 46 charges stemming from 1979 to the present, though, it's like, I don't really care how far away they were. That's a huge pattern. If I'd been busted by the cops 46 times over a 30-year period, even if I hadn't been busted for the last 2 or 3 years, it's still a huge pattern for her to be out there, in the street instigating that neighbor and, we're going to sue you. And she's all, preaching about domestic violence being bad. It's like she was beating the hell out of her husband for years. So, anyways, Matt, you go ahead and talk for a few minutes because I'm going to try to find out how I can pull up that other video because I've got one that has a couple of the things like the laundry basket stuff and stuff like that. So just talk and chat with the chat for a few minutes while I find that.
Okay.
All right, you guys got Matt.
Well, what are people's thoughts on this? I like to know. Because like I said, there were a lot of red flags in this. There were, nothing makes sense. In our live stream last night, I talked about it a little bit about I forgot what I was going to say. The Brian's whereabouts, and it's just crazy all around, in my opinion. I think the police could have done a better job as far as getting them to talk. But that's just my opinion.
You can probably hear all my noise while I'm playing with this video, can't you?
I'm not paying attention to it.
I just wonder if I was fast forwarding through the dirty laundry crap
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't thinking that my microphone's on. I'm wondering if you guys could like hear that blurbing in the background. Okay, Matt, go ahead. I've got that other one ready to queue up when you're sick of talking, but you can finish what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Ronnie girl, yeah, definitely tons of red flags.
Hello, Harmony. How you doing? Oh, Dublin's in here too. Hi, Dublin. I keep looking to see who new showed up. Does everybody in the chat think there's red flags? I see Rhonda said yeah. Um, I'd like to say, okay, they found him. He passed away. It's really sad, and the case is closed. But it's like there's just too much weirdness, with all those things I mentioned before. And then, the thing is, it's like, did he commit suicide? Did somebody kill him? Did he just, get attacked by an alligator when he was asleep? It's like nobody even knows what happened to him yet, really. And we really, without him being able to talk, are never going to really know what happened to Gabbie. We don't know that he killed her. It's like he could have dumped her and left and took off with her van, and she could have got jumped in the campground by some crazy person. So it's kind of like, and Wyoming doesn't legally have to release the autopsy, so we're never really going to know exactly what happened to her. G.I. Joe says this is to keep the fake police going, called the lice. They're Hell's Angel symbols. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, they're like Hell's Angel symbols?
Hey,
I don't know
Angelica's
what
in
he's
here.
talking about. Hi, Angelica. How you doing?
What's going on, Angelica?
Yeah, I saw her. She was in here before.
I didn't know she was in here. I wasn't paying attention.
Miss Harmony just did her live updates. All right, I'm going to play the other video unless you wanted to keep talking for a minute.
No, go ahead.
If you need me to pause, just tell me to pause. It's a bunch of clips I put together of, like I said, the laundry basket thing and the protesters. And then towards the end is when it gets long because it's the attorney giving his 3 different speeches that don't match, but we can pause it and talk before we get to that part. But now I have to figure out how to screen share again. So go ahead and fill this dead air until you see the video start. Oh, now I got to figure out what its name was. Gotcha. Okay, Matt, are you talking?
No, I haven't said anything yet. I was just
All right.
typing.
Oh, okay. I just gotta find it.
I just typed in the chat. I want to know where things are going to go from here after they found his remains. What's going to happen next?
Crap, it's doing what I thought it was gonna do. I need to fast forward through the music part.
So,
can you guys see this weirdness going on the screen? Or is it going on backstage? I gotta get rid of that song. Okay, it should be okay
Investigators say
now.
they did try to make contact with Gabby Petito's fiancé the weekend they seized the couple's van, but that he and his parents refused to talk. The following Tuesday, September 14th, Laundrie's parents say he left the house to hike the Carlton Reserve. That's the same day the Northport chief of police told CNBC.
We have seen him, but we have not spoken with him.
The next day, he was named a person of interest.
Why did you come to that conclusion?
I think most people would come to that conclusion in this case. He was the last known person that we have information was around her.
But reporters on the ground say there were times on Wednesday when there was no police presence outside the Laundrie home. On Thursday, September 16th, the chief again telling reporters,
I know where Brian's at.
But just 24 hours later, the situation changed dramatically.
Right now, currently, I don't know where he's at right now. He could be anywhere. I don't know.
That was Friday night when police say Brian's parents reported him missing. Last seen Tuesday, leaving for that hike. Now, look, we reached out to Northport Police for a response. In a written statement, they say, because of the ongoing investigation and importance of the timeline in this case, we cannot disclose full details on what all investigators were and are working on. We have never indicated what surveillance techniques have been involved in this case, including by NPPD, FBI, and Suffolk County. Of course, the overriding question still here, Shep, where is Brian?
let me do a hypothetical here and flip the table. If this was the other way around and you had a son that went off with somebody's daughter and came back without her, and the family called you, wouldn't you pick up the phone and answer it and tell them everything you knew to help explain the situation?
All right, so let's expand on that a little bit more, right? So my son comes home without his companion, who lives in my house. Remember, Gabbie lived there.
Right.
So if he's back at the, so my son's back at my house without the person who lives in my house, and once he gives me an explanation, I'm on the phone with the parents saying, we got a problem, because I'm a good person. We got a problem, and we got to handle it quick. And whatever the problem is, however the scenario is, I teach my son and my youngest son and Gabbie to stand up for your mistakes. All right. If you do something wrong, you apologize and you take what's coming, because that's what decent people do. Obviously, they skip that role in parenting.
FBI says they're going to be using an intelligence-based approach to try and pin down exactly where Brian Laundrie might be. Gabby Petito's family is preparing to speak up once again. The memorial to Gabby Petito at the center of Northport dwarfs a new one that is springing up. This is now at the Laundrie family home, which was also once hers. The home has attracted a new round of demonstrators.
We want to bring closure to the Petito family.
The sentiment that the parents know more than they're saying has drawn a rebuke from their attorney, who said in a statement today they do not know where he is, and that the speculation that they assisted him in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest is just wrong. The police search that has transitioned from the grounds and swamps of the 25,000-acre Carlton Reserve has yielded seemingly little.
We're working as hard to find him now as we did on day one.
Investigators are turning to science. This weekend, the FBI collected DNA from the home to either potentially match any remains found or to rule them out.
Should they find remains, they're going to need to find something that they can use to compare it with.
The remains of Gabby Petito are still in the custody of the FBI, so her family had to use an empty urn to hold a memorial service this weekend on Long Island.
Gabbie is the most amazing person I've ever met. So if you're going to leave here today, I'm asking that you guys be inspired by the way she treated.
Following the story since day one, walk us through what led investigators to the Carlton Reserve in the first place.
Hi, Linda. Well, what led investigators to the Carlton Reserve was Brian Laundrie's parents. Now, keep in mind, on Friday night, when they reported him, quote, missing, they told investigators that this was the area that Brian was coming to on Tuesday. They said that they saw him walk out of their house with a backpack, supposedly jump into that Mustang, and go to the Myakkahatchee entrance, which goes into the Carlton Reserve. So they're basing this search on tips from the parents at this point in time.
So that silver Mustang that was towed away from the Laundrie home on Monday, do we know why? Looking for clues, obviously, right?
Obviously, that's a good answer right there. But that was also towed away as that FBI agents went up to their house executing the search warrant. Now, the Mustang was towed away as evidence was also taken out. Talking with investigators, they're going to be looking at that Mustang, combing it over just as they are this reserve, looking for any evidence that may tell them where Brian went past when he left his house.
Well, law enforcement has been searching this reserve for several days now, but this is the first time, I believe, that they've brought in a dive team. So do we know why they're taking this additional step?
Yeah, Linda, well, this is the first time that we have seen that dive team go into the reserve. And we know that they have gone in there because the investigators say that they have searched a number of areas on land. They said that they're starting to exhaust their land search and they're going to look into the water to see if it contains any clues of Brian or Brian's belongings. That could also include the backpack if it ended up in there or anything that belonged in that backpack. But investigators are now honing in on that, just saying that they've been looking all over the land. They haven't been able to find anything at this point, but they continue to bring resources in here. Just a few minutes ago, we saw a Verizon signal truck coming in to help boost the signal of investigators that are back out there. So there's something in here that's continuing their search at this point in time.
We are out here, Laundrie family. Why don't you give a public statement and ask Brian to turn himself in? How come when Gabby was missing, you didn't help with the search? You need to come forward and give authorities information and cooperate immediately. Not tomorrow, not the next day. Now. We are out here in support of Gabby Petito, the Petito family, and all victims of domestic violence. You need to cooperate with authorities. We're not going anywhere.
Where is Gabby? Where is Gabby?
No.
Arrest Brian! Arrest Brian! Arrest Brian! Bring Gabby home! Where's Gabby, Laundrie? Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? Where's Gabby? Family, where's Gabby?
Yeah, stay with me, Joe, because this is happening right now. Another police officer showed up just a few minutes ago.
Officer, can you give us an update?
Officer, can you tell us why you're here? Officer, can you tell us why you came here to Brian Laundrie?
These are all little clips and stuff that I'm not sure if everybody's seen, so I tried to put them together.
You gonna hit a woman? Is that what you're about to do? I'm telling you.
I'm gonna tell you what you ain't no sleuth. You can sit here all you want with your megaphone. I don't care. But you come on my property again, I'm gonna beat you.
You're going to prison, buddy.
Who's this guy?
You're going to prison. Call 911. You're going to prison.
Call 911.
You're going to prison.
This ain't you.
You're going
this ain't you
to prison.
Sorry, you guys an assault?
Shut up. No. That's not you right there. Good.
Charges on you,
pal.
Come on, my charges. The whole world's watching you.
Ronnie, is that Jonathan?
You're going to jail. You just assaulted me on camera. You just assaulted me on camera. You assaulted me on camera. You are going to jail. I'm pressing charges.
Do you guys feel guilty about Gabby? Let me do it. Is there a reason the FBI thinks you're not telling the truth? Do you know where Brian's passport is? Do you have anything to say about Gabbie? A lot of the neighbors think you guys know more than you're saying.
The laundry basket's cracking me up.
They're dropped off the sign. They want you to know that they're concerned that you guys know more than you're saying.
I had just found this laundry basket footage this morning. I don't know where it was hiding.
Is your son still alive? Have you been in contact with him? Where do you think he is? Is he really in that park? Did he really go to the park? Did you help him get to the park or out of the park?
People are just harassing him left and right. I'd get violent if I always had someone's cell phone filming me right in my face.
I wouldn't be going out. I would be.
Well, they didn't go out for a long time, but I mean, apparently they needed a furnace filter and water, and they went to the FedEx store, and they went to the AT&T store twice, but it wasn't open. People were following them, filming everything they did. This is them at the reserve, the morning that they found the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That they went for a walk and coincidentally happened to find
So Chris
it.
and Roberta had informed me last night that they wanted to go to the reserve today just to look around, and I notified the Northport police, who I believe notified the FBI, and they met them there this morning at 7 a.m.
In the area where they found presumably Brian's belongings, is this an area that Chris showed police 2 weeks ago when he aided in the search?
I can't say for certain that Chris showed this particular area to police at that point in time, but I can say that this is an area that we initially notified the FBI that Brian liked to hike in.
And can you tell us about how the parents are doing? How are Chris and Roberta right now?
Well, as you can imagine, the parents are very distraught. Like everyone else, they're going to wait for the results of the forensic identification before making any further comments. But at this moment in time, you know, they're grieving.
Okay, Matt, you can go ahead and unmute. What's coming up next is there's 3 different interviews they gave yesterday, and none of them matched. We're kind of reading the lawyer's body language, but we can play those later. I don't want to bore you guys with too much video at once. But I want to look at the chat, because when I was watching that, I wasn't doing it. Yeah, I know the lawyer is saying that that he left the bag where he found it. He did not leave it there. I'm kind of mixed on that. It's like, I know there's a lot of conspiracy going around that the parents planted that there, and it's like, I'm not really thinking they could have. I mean, they had Fox News was right there following them, and it's like that dad would have had to do a pretty quick, presto changeo to pull a bag that size out of, a backpack. I know the mom was carrying a bag, but I just think with Fox News right on their butt filming them as they did everything, I don't think he would have had the opportunity to plan it. Now, that doesn't mean he didn't go in there the night before. And they kept making a big deal yesterday about how, oh, the reserve was closed to the public. Nobody could go in there. So the laundries didn't go in until the day it opened up. Well, the laundries could have told the cops any day during that search, and they would have allowed them to go in. But also a guy named Josh and another guy, Doug from Northport, who has a YouTube channel, they've been sneaking into that reserve and doing live streams. They found a shack in there that some homeless guy was living in, and they were going through the stuff to see if anything looked like it was Brian's. And they had gone in there multiple times. So if they could, anybody could sneak in there, even though the park was closed to the public. But since the laundries had those people all over them every minute, everywhere they went in their yard, I don't think they could have snuck off. But then I saw a conspiracy. I don't remember if someone sent it to me in Messenger, if I saw it in a group, where someone said the day they went to Walmart, they mailed a FedEx box. So they're like, they could have mailed those things to whoever, because it was a big box. FedEx, and had like a close friend or family member sneak into the reserve and plant it. So it's like, I mean, all of this stuff's just spinning around social media, and it's crazy. But it's like, I don't know, this whole case has been crazy from the beginning. It's like, what gives, you know? Yes, discerning light. I want to see what the cause of death is too. And I haven't looked up yet. Miss Harmony, you might have. I haven't looked up yet what Florida law is on autopsies. I know Wyoming does not have to legally release them, so we may never get Gabby's information. But I know in Las Vegas they have to release them. So I'm wondering, or in Nevada. So I'm wondering what Florida's law is on that. That's something we're going to need to check on, so we know whether we're ever going to get Brian's or not. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions in here. If somebody asked a question and I missed it, just type it in again. Oh, Miss Harmony, did his attorney talk again today? I didn't know that. I got the interviews from yesterday, unless he did it. One of the ones that I got today that was short could have been from today, but I think they were all from yesterday. Ronnie's saying without answers, that's why there's so many conspiracies circulating. If they gave answers, maybe we'd shut the hell up. I don't know how many people in this chat followed Las Vegas, but that sheriff got up and gave a couple of press conferences where he's like, there is so much circulating on social media, and there is no conspiracy between LVMPD, the FBI, and MGM. And, you know, he was like lecturing and pointing his finger and stuff. And now I'm seeing the same word salad come out of this attorney's mouth, you know, hogwash and bullshit and all this stuff and conspiracy and social media. And I'm like, you know, thou dost protest too much. Isn't that the old saying? It's like, why would you even address? He even brought up the thing about, you know, them being, you know, having Brian in a bunker in the backyard. And it's like, well, if it's nonsense from social media, why are you even bringing it up in an interview? Just ignore it, you know? So I find all that really, really strange. Oh, he did talk today. I've got all the ones from yesterday. G.I. Joe, if you know that he talked today and you can think of where to tell me to find it, let me know. He was sweating with Rouse watching him, Ronnie. And the thing is, it's like, I always thought Rouse was totally controlling him and his actions and what he was allowed to say. And there's another investigator. And, you know, it's like I said, you never know how to verify people. But this other guy told me that he had talked to Rouse, which I find hard to believe, but I have no reason not to believe him. But he talked to Rouse, and that Rouse knew the truth and Lombardo was lying, but Rouse had to keep his mouth shut per his upper, you know, people's orders. So it's like, I don't know if I believe that or not, but that's like a great flip on, you know, between how we thought about Lombardo and Rouse. Oh, good. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Kevin Leonard said autopsies are public record in Florida, which means when Brian's is done, if they don't release it to us, someone can do a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, request for it. So we'll definitely be able to get Brian's, unless the family petitions to have it sealed, because you can in certain cases do that. In the Vegas situation, Officer Hartfield, his wife petitioned to have his sealed, and the newspapers took her to court and made them unseal it. So if they seal Brian's, a news outlet or someone will have to like go to court to make them unseal it. So we'll wait and see, you know, how that pans out.
Angelica is saying that in Florida, the autopsy will be public record after the investigation is closed.
Yeah, Kevin just told us that same thing. They must have looked it up, both of them. Thank you. Harmony's asking Ronnie for a link. What link are you talking about, Harmony? Oh, for the ticket. Ronnie, you've got a wrench, so if you have a link to that ticket that you can put a link in this chat, and Harmony will be able to grab it. Pecan, I thought it was a little weird how the FBI was, but it's like you got to kind of put them in their shoes. They're hunting for 5 weeks, and they find the book bag and stuff, so they're going to assume when they find these remains it's him. But the way they're describing the remains, I mean, it's been 5 weeks, and they're describing as skeletal bones. So you know they've got part of the head because they matched it to dental records. So the FBI guy went straight out there to give a speech, and he didn't really give us any new information and seemed kind of shook up. But it's like, you probably would be shook up if you just found that. It's like your case has just been solved. You no longer have to hunt. So you've got the relief of that. But then you've got like these skeletal remains. So they had to call in an anthropologist, and they're going to, just like Gabbie, have to call in the entomologist, bug guy, and all these different people. So, I know I said this last night in Flight Life's live chat. Matt, can you pull up his link and put it in here so people can subscribe to him? We've been going on at night on Flight Life's channel. He used to be Truth Tracker when we did Vegas and covering the Gabbie thing. So if Matt puts the link in there, everyone please subscribe. But anyways, we were talking on there yesterday. I was looking up the decomposition rate of the bodies and temperature and in and out of water and stuff. And if you do a YouTube search and type in body farm, you'll find all these videos that I don't know why YouTube hasn't even yanked them. They're so graphically gross. But apparently in the United States, there's 6 different places at different universities and police and FBI, whatever, training camps or whatever, where people, when they die, you can donate your body to these, and they actually take your cadaver and do all these different things to it and watch it decompose. And these videos had, like, some of them were like just out in these fields, I'm sure on the Institute's property, but like fenced in, and they were doing close-ups of, like, thousands of maggots coming out of them. I mean, just disgusting stuff. And they were doing this, and then after they got done doing that, the anthropologists would examine the bones, and from doing all these tests for so many years, they could determine, if it had been dead, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, a year, or longer. So it was really creepy, and I was going to make a video about it, but they were too gross. So if anybody wants to just do a YouTube search, put in the one in Texas is called the Body Ranch, and the one I think in Tennessee is the Body Farm. But yeah, you can find them, and they're really gross. But anyways, we don't know, discerning light, if the teeth were connected to a skull. There's all this information going around in social media that they found a skull, but I'm not positive if the police said skull or just remains and bones. So it's kind of like, I'm kind of guessing that it was the skull with the jawbone because, they identified it that way. I don't think it was just loose teeth out there. Although there could be loose teeth out there. If he got attacked by animals, he could be scattered all over. I watched a trial not too long ago where a man killed his 13-year-old son, dumped him in the woods near Denver, and they didn't find him for, I don't know, like 6 or 8 months or something, and coyotes and stuff had scattered this kid's body. I mean, they found parts all over the place. They brought up all the evidence in trial, and it was pretty bad to see what the animals could do. So we don't know how much of Brian they actually have. Palm Mom, how are you doing? She says a body will completely decompose in less than a week in Florida, faster if in water. Yeah, you're right. The Kaylee Anthony case. Well, the thing with Brian is we're not sure if he died on land and then it rained. It didn't start raining until the end of the month. So it's like on the very first day he was out there, just a scenarios. He could have been bit by a poisonous snake, passed out. Then it started raining and he fell in the water. It's like, we don't really know. Plus, we don't know if an alligator got him, they drag him out of the water onto land and they snack on him over a period of time. I mean, not to be too gross, but I guess I'm just blurting it all out there. So yeah, until we get some more information, we're not really going to know.
Sorry to interrupt. How do you get somebody's link?
Go ahead, Pekin. From the YouTube?
Channel.
Go to his channel, and then up in that top bar, like your address bar, just do a copy and paste. Are you trying to get Chris's?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'll grab it. Yeah, but when you do, you just go up in your address bar, do a copy and paste, and bring it down. Pecan wanted to know if she could ask something that's not related to this case. You can ask anything you want. And Miss Harmony's saying her research showed 8 weeks in Florida. Depends on the temperature of the water for decomposition. So yeah, everyone's research. That's the thing when you're looking up stuff. It's like you get all this conflicting information. Like we were in Harmony's live chat yesterday, and we were talking about the cadaver dogs, and it's like some people were like, no, they found articles that if a body was in water, they couldn't track it. And then other people were like, well, they can track it from the land to the water. Then I found articles. I sent Harmony some on email, where they could find them in water. So it's like when you find all these conflicting articles and they're all from like scientists and researchers and stuff, it's like you don't really know for sure. And it's kind of the same thing with this decomposing of the body in the water. It's like we're finding all these conflicting, it's like I'm not going to read the Daily Mail or BuzzFeed to get my, exact information on the water. But we're finding articles, from scientists and colleges and stuff that all have differing information. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, Harmony said she had to learn that in school. I'm waiting to see, Pecan had asked if she could ask something else that wasn't related to this. Oh, she meant when they announced GPs. I haven't seen the one of BLs. Oh, Gabby Petito and Brian. Oh, do we think it was where when they read the results? Well, my answer is kind of the same about Gabbie. It's like they just find this thing out there that's kind of traumatic. So when they go to explain it at the podium, I think it would be normal for them to act kind of weird because of what they just saw. What do you think, Matt?
Can you repeat that again?
The FBI's reaction, like when they go to the podium for Brian and Gabbie both and announce, that they had found the remains and blah, 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 and who it was, it's like they always have that like weird reaction. Do you think that's normal or weird?
Well, I guess it depends on the individual. If they're choked up about it, then I guess it is what it is, but
no, Pecan, I didn't hear about that. Pecan said, have you all heard about the family found dead a few months back in Yosemite? A mom, a dad, a 1-year-old baby, and a dog. Harmony saying back when she was in school, if you didn't have dental records, they crushed the teeth or bones to get the DNA. I'm just trying to follow along with the chat. Does anybody want to see the lawyer interviews? I kind of have them chained together so that we can see him getting all nervous and he kind of changes his story a little bit. And he's kind of, I don't like the lawyer. I think he's kind of a jerk. Do you want me to play that, Matt, since you got to kind of go in a little while?
yeah, if you want to.
All right. If you guys get bored with it, just tell me to shut up.
Chris and Roberta knew that their son Brian was grieving. They knew he was so upset, and they just couldn't control that he was leaving, and he left. He walked out the door, and Chris has said to me, I wish I could have stopped him, but I couldn't.
Did the parents choose today to go to the preserve?
Well, it is my understanding that the preserve was only open to the public as of yesterday. So my clients reached out to me and informed me that they wanted to go into the preserve this morning, and I thought it would be wise to notify law enforcement of their intentions. I did so by text to my contact in the Northport Police Department, and they responded with thank you for the heads up, and then they met my clients there this morning.
Why did they meet your clients there?
Well, I presume they thought it would be a good idea just to accompany them in. They knew the press had been following my clients for weeks and weeks on end, and you'd have to ask them why they chose to come. They did not indicate to me last night that they would be there. They just, again, thanked me for the heads up.
One quick question sideways, and then I want you to take me through what you understand of how the discovery was made. Why didn't the parents ask to go sooner during all these agonizing weeks?
Well, the parents had assumed that the experts, the FBI, and all the tracking teams that they had would be able to locate Brian based upon the information that we had provided them to the specific areas and trails in the park that Brian liked to visit. The park had been closed to the public. There was really no other reason for the Laundries to go search anywhere else.
Now, let's deal with the specifics of today. Is the area that they were searching when these discoveries were made, is this a new area that the parents hadn't informed authorities about before?
No, not at all. Indeed, this is the very area of the park that we initially informed law enforcement on, I believe it was September 17th, that Brian would be most likely in the preserve in this particular area, as I know it, near the bridge. I think it's the bridge that might connect the Myakkahatchee Environmental Park with the Carlton Reserve.
Was this a very deep way or distance into the preserve?
No, Mr. Laundrie informed me that it was quite near the entrance. He didn't put an exact distance on it. He put a time frame of about 30 minutes in. But I would guess it could be a mile or two into the preserve.
So can you help us understand how an area that the authorities were told about, you say, by the parents that isn't even that deep into the preserve, wasn't located all these weeks with all the dogs and the teams and everything else until the parents showed up?
Well, listen, the explanation that the FBI gave today certainly makes sense. If that area was underwater, one can certainly understand why you might not have been able to find the items that were located today. If that water had cleared, 2 weeks ago, perhaps could have circled back and looked again. Perhaps they meant to. Perhaps they were further deeper into the park and never got back to this park because it is so near the entrance. Chris and Roberta went to this area first, and as happenstance was, they stumbled upon these items.
All right, now the key understanding. What do you know from your clients about how the discovery was made? What was going on? What did they tell you about how it happened?
So fortunately, one of your rival news people were there with a camera. And I say fortunately because, some people don't believe how the events laid out today. But Chris and Roberta walked into the preserve. It is my understanding that they were followed closely by the two law enforcement personnel. And when I say closely, certainly within eye shot. And as they went further in, Chris ventured off the trail into the woods. He was zigzagging in different areas. Law enforcement was doing the same thing. And Roberta Laundrie was walking down the trail. And I believe that is on some video for some other news outlet. At some point, Chris locates what's called a dry bag. The dry bag is a white bag, is laying in the woods, I'll say 20 feet or so off the trail. According to Chris, it was in some bramble. Chris didn't want to pick the bag up because he wanted the law enforcement to see it. This was caught on camera. Chris couldn't find the law enforcement because they were then out of sight because Chris had been in the woods. So he didn't want to leave the bag there with the news reporter standing nearby. So he picked it up. He did meet up shortly with law enforcement. They looked at the contents of the bag. At that time, law enforcement officers showed him a picture on the phone of a backpack that law enforcement had located also nearby and also some distance off the trail. At that point, the Laundries were notified that there was also remains near the backpack, and they were asked to leave the preserve.
What do you make of the suggestion that Mr. Laundrie planted the bag and the backpack?
In nice terms, it's hogwash.
Understand the main reason you are representing the Laundrie family is because you have a long personal relationship with them. I understand you received that grim news that we've just reported. How did you find out, and what exactly did you learn?
Well, yes. Good evening, Tom, and thanks for having me. The first thing is, yes, I've known the Laundrie family for over 25 years. Been friends with Chris Laundrie for a long time. I've seen both of his children grow up, Cassie and Brian. And I did learn of the unfortunate news that Brian's remains were confirmed today through Chris Laundrie. Chris had called me, let me know that police had come to his house this evening to inform them that the remains were positively identified.
How were Brian's parents tonight?
Well, Tom, I don't know you if you're a parent or not, but I'm sure every parent out there knows that getting the news that your child is no longer, with you is sad under any circumstances. The fact that the Laundries have been subjected to these people out in front of their house for the last 4 weeks, and they continue out there today, is just making it all the more difficult.
Any idea or theory how Brian may have ended his life?
I don't want to speculate. I try not to do that. I would hope people would stop doing that as well, especially with respect to this case and with respect to, the cause or how Brian came to be dead. I don't know. And, we'll wait for, if possible, some type of cause of death from the experts.
Steve, I want to go back to yesterday and that big discovery. I know this is not the first time Brian's parents have aided in the search, but the Laundries did decide to go and help investigators yesterday, both parents. Explain to our viewers what exactly prompted that yesterday.
Well, I think the prompt was that the park or the Myakkahatchee Environmental Creek Park was finally open to the public. My understanding, it was either open to the public on Tuesday or Wednesday, and Chris and Roberta decided that since it was open and available to them, they wanted to go and look for Brian by themselves. After speaking with me, I told them that I wanted to notify law enforcement so that we would have no issue. And, I did text my contact at the Northport Police Department. The response I got was thank you for the heads up. And the law enforcement did show up at 7 a.m. at the park entrance to meet Chris and Roberta.
What do you say to all those people out there who say this is really a strange coincidence? Both parents go out, mother and father, and then suddenly these big clues turn up, including what we now know are the remains of Brian Laundrie.
As I said to you a moment ago, I've known Brian since he was a small child, so this is hitting me today too. I'm a little bit angry that people are even speculating this way, and primarily because, it's not just the Laundries, it's local PD, it's the FBI. It was an independent news person who happened to be there filming, and that's all fortunate that police were there and the film crew was there. The FBI put out a statement. I forget the gentleman's name. He said, listen, we searched this area several weeks ago. It was underwater. There have been numerous people who have said this area was waist deep in water. I think every searcher who was out there will attest to that. So people with firsthand knowledge of the conditions of that park have said that this was under 2 to 3 feet of water, and yet still John Q. Public can't get it in their head that these areas were inaccessible, and the items that were located today, or I should say yesterday, perhaps couldn't be seen. So we're not just saying it. I'm not just saying it. The FBI is saying it. Everyone is saying it. And yet these platforms are still running amok with these ludicrous and I have to say, nonsensical theories of the parents planting things there. I mean, enough is enough.
Steve, when
does it stop?
Steve,
when do people...
Yeah, we are here today, though, because of the disappearance of Gabby Petito and ultimately her death. The Petito family has been very critical of the Laundries. I want to play you a short clip of the Petito family. I want to get your reaction on the other end.
Let's go.
I believe they know probably, if not everything, they know most of the information. I would love to just face-to-face ask why are you doing this? Just tell me the truth.
You know this family. You're representing them. How would you describe the Laundrie's interaction with law enforcement?
So, as I mentioned a couple of times today to other news organizations, today is not the day to discuss the Gabby Petito case. I understand that was the impetus, that is the reason why all this is happening, but that doesn't explain why people come up with these nonsensical theories as to yesterday's events and some other events. It doesn't explain, Tom, why major news organizations just yesterday on Fox News, an anchor was accusing me of communicating with Brian with a burner phone until his solar power ran out and I could no longer communicate. That was from an anchor. You had pundits on CNN just last night with all kinds of theories. So my anger and my frustration, and when I say when does it stop, what I'm saying is when does it stop that these conjecturists, these theorists, people who have no firsthand knowledge, and specifically with yesterday's events, you have people with firsthand knowledge telling you how this played out, and yet people still don't believe it. So I'm going to focus on that. I'm not going to talk about the Petito family. They suffered. No, Tom, let me finish. Yeah. They suffered a grave loss. And on September 14th, when I first went on video, I said there are two families here that have suffered a great tragedy. There are two young people that have now lost their lives. There are parents that are suffering. Now, I understand that. Whatever happened or whatever didn't happen, whatever people know, this is tragic for two families. And anybody with a child and anybody with a sense of humanity can understand the frustration that both families feel.
Steve, on that point, though, I hear you on that point, though. You mentioned a date. If you could go back, do you wish you would have helped police out a little bit more early on in the investigation? Because Northport Police, to be completely fair, had to tweet at you on September 15th, days after Gabby Petito was already reported missing. Do you wish you would have maybe worked with police a little earlier in this investigation?
So, Tom, I have to tell you once again, I represent the Laundrie family. I'm an attorney. Communications I have with Brian, communications I had and have with Chris and Roberta are confidential. What I wish really doesn't play into it. What I can tell you is, at some point in the future, there may be conversations to be had. There may be information to be discussed. Tonight is not that time. You know, this case is not over. I have yet to speak to FBI personnel. I have yet to speak to Northport Police. I have yet to speak to the Assistant U.S. Attorney, Ms. Romine, out in Wyoming. There are certain things that need to be done and I should say wrapped up before we can have further conversations of what may or may not have been done differently.
Steve, do you think your clients, the Laundries, Brian's parents, will eventually be charged with crimes?
I have no reason to believe that.
There has been some speculation out there, and again, I understand you don't like to talk about speculation, that maybe some type of deal was cut, that they promised to cooperate with investigators to get some type of immunity. Any truth to that?
I can tell you no, there's no truth to that. What I can tell you is that conversations were had several weeks ago with the FBI with respect to certain charges. When questioned and when communications were had between myself and the FBI, I think it was realized that charges were not appropriate. There was never a threat. There was never a coercion. There was never a deal cut. But
we're talking about misdemeanor charges? Steve, misdemeanor or felony charges?
I don't know what level of crime or charge was in the mix. What I can tell you is there were conversations that were had, and I definitely want to be clear. There was no threat. There was no coercion on behalf of the FBI. There was no deals. There were certainly conversations, as one would expect happens in every criminal case. You always have conversations with the prosecutors about how the case may play out, as to what may be on the table, so to speak. Yes, those conversations were had, but no deal was cut. The Laundries have been cooperating with law enforcement, both locally and federally, since day one with respect to Brian.
And explain to our viewers,
Gabby Petito case.
Yeah, if you can explain to our viewers, because we've heard from so many people over the last several weeks on this case, but we've never heard from the Laundries, and there's a reason for that, correct?
Absolutely, and I've said several times, I said it over a month ago, the reason you haven't heard from the Laundries is because I told them not to talk to anybody. I've taken the heat on that, I've accepted the heat on that, and as I've said even last night, as you know, any attorney, any defense attorney, and anybody who went to law school will tell you the same thing. You do not talk under any circumstances. And any pundit who goes on TV and says, oh, I have a law degree and this is immoral and unethical, you know what? You are wrong. This is the job and the role of a defense attorney. You tell your client, do not talk to law enforcement. Period. End of story.
Did your clients know their son, Brian Laundrie, was going to disappear when he left the house that day?
No, they did not. What I can tell you is that Brian was very upset when he left, and Chris conveyed to me several times that, he wished he didn't let him go, but he couldn't stop him. So this has been a painful saga for them since September 13th. It's been a long haul, but Brian is a grown man, young man, 22 years old. He wanted to walk out the door. He was entitled to walk out the door.
You know the Laundries personally. You've known them for several years. You've said that tonight here on Top Story. I want to ask you, what do you want America to know about the Laundries, and is there something they should know about them as parents?
I would like America to know that exactly what you said. Chris and Roberta Laundrie are parents. They are just people. They have feelings. They have children. One of their children have just been confirmed as dead. It's sad under any circumstances. Gabby Petito notwithstanding, for any family, for any parent out there, this is a loss of a loved one. They're grieving. I would just respectfully ask people outside their home, go home, give it a break, get a good night's sleep, leave the Laundries alone, even for one night. Please and thank you.
Do you see any scenario where the Laundries eventually reach out to the Petitos, to Gabby's family?
As I said to you a moment ago, Tom, there are certain things that need to be, I'll use the term wrapped up. There are conversations that need to be had. When those conversations are had, perhaps at some point in the future, there will be, communication between the two families. I've communicated with Mr. Stafford in the past, the Petito family attorney. I'm sure he and I will be having conversations coming forward. And, what comes of those conversations will remain to be seen.
Lena, we thank you for your time. Some major news today, and the remains have been identified. Tell us what you've learned.
Just a short while ago, I confirmed with Chris and Roberta Laundrie that representatives from the Northport Police Department visited their home and advised them that the remains were positively identified as those of Brian.
Have they been asked to identify the remains in person?
No, they have not. We had previously provided items for DNA testing and confirmation, and it's my understanding is that is what was used to identify the remains.
Under the circumstances, I think, first of all, this is difficult news for any parent to receive. How are your clients doing?
I've been using the...
Okay, I'm going to pause that because I think we've heard a lot of interview and people might be getting sick of it, and then we can always start that other interview again later if you guys want to. I'm not sure if there's a delay. Can you guys hear me talking, or do you still see the interview? Oh, Matt's back. Yeah, Harmony, me and Matt and Chris and a couple other people that are in this chat, we worked the Vegas thing literally day and night, like full time for years. Chris is in here. He did too, Chris Thompson. Chris, drop your link in here so they can subscribe to you. Pecan Pie was asking who else still had a bunch of Vegas stuff online, and I know you've still got a ton on your channel. Chris Thompson did all of our like the gun and ballistic type work. He did a lot of stuff with that. And Flight Life, whose channel used to be Truth Tracker, he did a lot of our Vegas work. We kind of worked in groups. He did a lot of our work on the patterns of the helicopters that night, and the gunshot sounds from different distances. He's got like a lot of technical equipment at his house. Um, I did a lot of work on the autopsies. Matt did stuff on everything, but he doesn't really do lives on his channel. He always comes on different channels with us. So yeah, we're all like part of the Vegas gang. It was like literally full time nonstop. Like I sent a 1 terabyte hard drive into the police department there in Vegas, the LVMPD, and they loaded it up with all the documents and body cams. So I've got all of that, and I've read them all and watched them all, and I've got a bunch of stuff printed out. So yeah, it's funny because if someone asks a question, it's been so long now, it's like, oh, I got to go check. And Kevin here is in the chat. Kevin actually was at the concert and was part of the lawsuit. So I don't know if Kevin is still here or not. But yeah, our channels all kind of started originally on the whole Vegas thing. So if you ever want to go back and watch the old videos, they're all still there, except for the few channels that got zapped. Oh, Harmony, yeah, we could do another Vegas chat, because I know there's a lot of people that are in our chats now that weren't here around Vegas time. Vegas started getting kind of a little too dangerous. We were having like our employers called. I had police show up at my house. Another one of the YouTubers had another YouTuber show up at his house to have a fight when the guy was in the middle of a live stream. So we're all like watching this going, Joe, no, get back in the garage. So yeah, when it started getting a little out of control, we all kind of backed off a little bit. But we could probably do another live stream and just have everyone chat about Vegas, because it's been so long now. Let's Go Brandon. Hi, everyone. I'm not sure who Let's Go Brandon is. I'm going to guess you changed your name. I have been totally immersed in this Gabbie case that I keep seeing these Let's Go Brandon things all over the place. And it's like, I don't know what it means, because I haven't watched any other news or read any other articles except the Gabbie thing. So if somebody can fill me in, that would be good, because I keep seeing it all over the last couple days. Anyone know what Let's Go Brandon is? He's in the chat, so he should know. Harmony said she backed off due to revealing secrets. Yeah, we were letting a lot of secrets and stuff out too, and I think that's why we got attacked. I had cops come to my house and literally tell me to stop doing Vegas, and I was just like, you didn't tell me to stop. I mean, and he's like, you need to stay off the internet. Brandon says he's a troll. Well, it's good to meet you, Brandon. Yes, FBN. That is who went to Joe's house and wanted to have the fight. And I also think that he's the one that tipped off the cops about me. We just don't even talk about him anymore. Angelica, is that the link to your YouTube channel? Angelica did all of the 911 call work for us with Vegas. And anybody that isn't subscribed to her that's interested in Vegas can subscribe to her channel. She's got a ton of videos. She actually has gone back to Vegas several times and gone places that nobody else would go, because you're not allowed to go there. And she's got a lot of these videos posted on her YouTube. She kind of goes in spurts, because like you'll see she covers chemtrails and stuff, and she does a lot of sky videos, and then there'll be a batch of Vegas ones, because she does the Vegas ones when she's there. But way back when, like 3.5 years ago, she went through every 911 call. I don't even know how many there was, Angelica. It was like thousands. And she did videos where she read them all off, and then she had them mapped out of, which ones came from which place. And as they started coming from up the strip from other hotels. And I mean, she got this whole huge pattern to where other people were arguing with her, saying, oh, there was no shooting. Those people were just confused and this and that. And it's like, she's got 911 calls from employees and people out on the street. It's just crazy. But any questions you have about Vegas with 911 calls, definitely go to 911 Awakened Angel, because she is literally the expert on that. Oh, True Seeker, it's political, so probably shouldn't bring it up. Oh, Angelica says over 2,200 calls. I knew there was a crap load.
That's a lot of calls.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, Let's Go Brandon. I didn't know that, because like I said, I've been immersed in the Gabbie case. So yeah, Brandon in there just told us what that saying was for. So yeah, I'll start cheering it on. Yeah, Angelica put hundreds of hours. I think all of us did. It's like I literally, from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, I switched to the midnight shift at work because it was real slow. And I literally was like listening to videos and stuff with headphones while I was at work. And then I'd come home and I wouldn't sleep. And it was constant Vegas digging, just constant. So yeah, then nothing really happened after that. It kind of slowed down, and then we went through the election and COVID, and I didn't want to cover that because a lot of people were getting their channels zapped for it. So then along came Gabby and Brian, which has kind of, I don't know, made it a little more interesting, I guess, to do videos and live streams. Yeah, Harmony saying she hardly slept too. Oh, it's a rap song, Verlinda. I'll have to find that. Palm Mom saying the same thing. It was from a NASCAR interview. Does anybody want to see the last video of the interview of the lawyer that he did with the third person? Matt's got to go here in like 40 minutes, and that next video takes 20 minutes. So we can either talk a little more or play that video, or if everybody's kind of done, we could jump off. I'm kind of trying to feel out the chat. We're going to go live on the other channel, Flight Life, later. Matt, you aren't going to be here for that, though. Are you going to be here for the end of it, or you're gone for the whole night once you leave here?
Well, it depends on what time I get home. If you guys are still on, I'll jump on.
The link I just put for the map, this is a map that Flight Life made. He used to be Truth Tracker. Some people know him as Chris. But anyways, we've got, we went over the timeline. And I mean, we found everything we could find. And he's got it all marked off on a Google map. Then he went through her Instagram and found different places where she posted stuff. And it's this total interactive map. And it is really cool. So if you haven't seen that, click that link and bookmark it. And then you can go back to it like anytime you want. Always hit refresh, though, because he updates it as he finds new things. Oh, bye, Pecan Pie. It was good to have you here. Let's see. Good night, Harmony. Thanks for coming in. I think everyone's like getting ready to kind of go. Instead of playing the rest of that interview, should we end it, or do you guys want to see the interview? The interview lasts 20 minutes. I've kind of run out of new things to talk about other than I could talk about speculating on the Laundries forever. What are you thinking, Matt?
You said this is a 20-minute video?
The last interview is 20 minutes. So if I play it, it's going to take 20 minutes. It's another one of the lawyer that he did the same day, but it's the longest one. But I mean, it's more of the same. It's like you read his body language, his expressions, his rudeness. It's like you can kind of compare it to the other
Well,
ones.
he's a lawyer. What do you expect?
Right. He's just doing his job. Cover your ass. That's what they're supposed to do.
Well, he's a New York attorney, you know.
Tonight we're going live on Truth Tracker's new channel, which is called Flight Life. Hang on, let me grab you the link. I don't know if you remember Truth Tracker from Vegas, but his new channel is called Flight Life, and here is the link. And it's estimated to be 9 Eastern, but he does a lot of like technical stuff and slideshows. So it's like every time we're going to go live, he's like, hang on, I got to finish this up. Hang on, I got to finish this up. So I can't really say for sure 9 Eastern. So just hit the notification bell on his channel. And it's funny because the last couple lives we've done together, we're like 20 minutes into them, and I start hearing my notifications go off, and I'm like, oh, great, YouTube. You know, they're not really even on time.
Yeah, they've been laxing lately, I think. YouTube as far as
FBN says yes, he does remember Truth Tracker. I don't remember your name, FBN, though. Did you change your channel name from something else? I mean, I recognize your name from being in these chats recently, but I don't recognize it from back in the Vegas days. So a lot of people lost their channels and had to make new channels. So they've got different names. I don't know. What are you thinking, Matt? You want to talk some more, watch the video, or just end it for now?
Well, it's up to you.
Oh, Fly by Nick. Okay. Oh, the FBN. Okay, I gotcha. Well, I've kind of babbled a lot. Do you want to babble for a little bit so I can shut
I
up?
really don't have much more to say. I've pretty much said what I had to say.
Well, before we
you
end,
guys you and Chris have done a heck of a job on this. I'm really not. I mean, last night, being on the live last night, that's probably the most I've uh, listened to about this case. I mean,
yeah,
I
we
was,
covered
I
a
saw
lot.
things on Facebook and whatnot, but last night, this kind of gave me like an in-depth look of what's going on. So,
Palm Mom, the Dirty Laundry song. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I had a slideshow put together with the Dirty Laundry song, and it was a bunch of pictures of laundries, and I uploaded it unlisted on my channel just to see if I'd get blocked because I was going to use it in this live as an opening, and sure enough, it got blocked. So don't anybody ever use Dirty Laundry in a video. That's one they won't allow. Ronnie's saying play the interview. Oh, FBN's mostly on BitChute. A lot of people went over on BitChute because we're getting nabbed. Strikes are hitting us left and right, and a ton of people have lost their channels, and they're starting to nitpick. I got one nailed the other day that was from like early 2019. And I'm like, seriously? Are you digging through my old videos or what? It's like, couldn't they catch it way back then? So yeah, YouTube's just getting ridiculous. And I also got in trouble for that Texas shooting, those two boys that were fighting in class. They were all blurred out. You could hardly even see them. And it's like, I got a violence, whatever, hate speech. I don't know what it was, but it was literally like a 30-second video. And then I'm looking on YouTube and it's like everyone else has it on their channels. They didn't get in trouble. And a couple news clips had it mixed in with that. And it's like they all still have it up. So I'm like, come on, YouTube, at least be consistent. Oh yeah, I watched it this morning, Palm Mom, when I was getting the video ready. Oh, FBN saying his last video was taken down in less than a minute. Yeah, my one that I made the slideshow with Dirty Laundry on this case, literally, as soon as it got done processing, boom, they took it down. They didn't give me a strike, but they took it down. Oh, you got 2 strikes in 2 days? You better not do anything, Chris, because if you get the 3rd strike, they take your channel. And they're being real picky. I've only got 1 strike right now, and I have to wait till January before it goes away. So I'm real careful about what I put on because I don't want to have my whole channel disappear. We'll lose all our Vegas research. I've got it all saved on thumb drives, but it's like I don't want to make a new channel and then have to get new subscribers and start uploading, stuff that's 3 years old. Yeah, Angelica, you just got back from Vegas, so you're still like probably uploading stuff from that trip. Definitely tiptoe time, Chris. Actually, kind of an update with Vegas is I've got a survivor I messaged back and forth with every couple of days that didn't go with the lawsuit. They had that class action lawsuit where they all got to split not very much money at all. And this guy didn't go for the lawsuit. So, anyways, he is suing MGM right now. And he sends me all his court documents, and they're like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's like he's not backing down. And MGM's lawyers are like getting pissed because they're like the big sharks and he's like the little minnow at the bottom. But he's holding his own in this lawsuit. So it's like I'm really curious to see what happens. He's not even going for the money. He's going for the principle of the thing. He wants MGM to admit liability and not just skate away from this. So yeah, I get documents from him, but he can't come live because he said in the middle of the court case, he doesn't want to like let something out or do something that might harm the case. So I assume however long this court case drags out, it's already been a couple years, he'll eventually come live and tell us all about it. And we've got another survivor that was in here a little while ago that also has a separate court case with MGM going on. I haven't talked to her in a while though, so I'm not sure if she got that settled or if she's still in the same boat. Yeah, I definitely want to know what happened in Vegas. It's like no one wants to give up on that. it seems that everybody kind of slowed down because we weren't getting any new information. And I'm getting a lot of emails. People with the Freedom of Information requests out there are starting to get some, you know, they're going up the food chain a little higher, but they're still getting the runaround. One of the guys got some files sent to him because he kept complaining, and he went all the way up to someone in Washington saying, "Look, they're not honoring the Freedom of Information. They're saying it's going in the FBI vault, and it's not. And it's a law. They have to give us the stuff." So they sent him these files. Well, he couldn't open the files, and I might be mixing up the story a little bit or paraphrasing, but he had some computer buddy or something like that. I think he told me, look at these files and figure out like why he couldn't open them. The guy's like, well, these are the type of files that they wrote way back when there were floppy disks for your computer. So I'm going, oh, great. So did they send these files on purpose so they could honor their FOIA? But yet you can't open them because nobody has a computer like that anymore. So it's a text file, and he's trying to find somebody that can get this open and read it. But the weird thing is he was going through this argument, he found out that they had honored this request for somebody else that asked for it. So when he found that out, he's like, well, hey, why won't you give me this stuff if apparently you gave it to this other person? So to shut him up, they sent him these files that we can't read. So yeah, we're still getting the runaround with all the Freedom of Information stuff. So we'll wait and see if we get new information when that comes out.
Last I heard about that,
FBM, I don't watch that channel because I think he's too much of a narrative pusher. And he is really good, but there's other people that are trying to a little bit influence him. And for a while there, he was falling for it. And now he's backed off and he's doing okay without letting somebody bully him into saying certain things. But there's another channel, Twin Talk Radio was really good for a long time. And I watched a video of theirs a week ago, and I was like, you guys are so 100% off base. And I sent him an email and gave him a ton of information and files and all kinds of stuff. And they turned off the comments on their video, but they left the video up. And I'm like, the video is totally inaccurate. I mean, like this email was like a foot long, you know, when you're typing. And I had all kinds of attachments and files. So it's not like I was just telling them they were wrong. I was like, here, look at this. Here, look at this. I had taken all these screenshots when it happened. And he never emailed me back, but left the video up. And I was just kind of like, wow. So that's like seriously spreading fake crap. So anyways, yeah, there's a couple channels still doing stuff. Hoover switched to the COVID. So that was a channel I used to watch.
what I heard about the FOIA, now they're talking like December now. That's the last I heard.
Yeah, they
originally
change their minds all the time. We kept checking the vault, nothing's showing up there yet.
Right. Well, first they said March, and then it was June. Now it's supposed to be December. Yeah, and it'll probably get pushed back again.
Chris, someone else took over the lock interrogation. Hunter was doing it, and there's a new channel that got Hunter's information and has started doing it. I can't remember what channel though. I saw something last week and the week before. Does anyone remember what channel? Maybe it's 1 October Sounds. But I know that someone has been working on the lock interrogation. Eric Peters works on it too, but he doesn't really post a bunch of videos. A lot of people, when all the trouble and drama and violence started, have just started, you know, messenger, email, phone calls. It's like working in small little groups, but we're not pumping out the videos like we used to because we're getting so attacked. And someone in the chat a few minutes ago had put a comment in there that makes total sense. It's like, not every channel's correct, but it's kind of like if you take all the Vegas channels and put their information together and mishmash them together, it's like you get a pretty good idea of what happened. You just don't know everything for sure, but there were so many channels digging in and covering so many different things that it's like nobody's 100% right, but you know, they're not all wrong. It's like everything meshes together. So when you're watching the videos, you just kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to believe and what not. But I always try to like provide links to documents and stuff, kind of like, look, I'm not just saying this, go here and look, go there and look. So I know Chris Thompson always has like the documents in his video, so you can like, you know, slow it down and read it if you want to. What link do you want, Flight Life? Oh, it is 1 October sounds, Angelica said. Okay, good. So he got off the sound thing and he's doing the locks now. I knew someone took over for Hunter. Yeah, I never really went with the Jamal Khashoggi being involved with the Vegas thing. I know that was floating around a while, but it's like I never really bought into that. Yeah, Brian's Shields still does stuff consistently. Flight Life wants the link. Oh, you want this link?
I
All
gave it
right,
to him.
never mind. Duh, I thought he was talking about some link
No, I
that I was
gave it to him
talking
already.
about. Oh, he's got the StreamYards?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, so I need to go see if he's in the basement? Nope, he's not in there yet. Probably can't talk about that much. I don't know what you're talking about that you can't talk about. Yeah, I'm trying to follow up in the comments. Yeah, LVSA's got some new footage that he's put up. I grab his stuff and put it in my playlist. He keeps digging and finding stuff, but he lives in Las Vegas, so he meets more people and can find a lot more people that like. Oh, I got you, Palm Mom. Yeah, LVSA has people he finds and videos he finds that like we didn't know were out there, when before it's like we were digging like crazy. Sleep Dep used to dig everywhere for these cell phone footages, and LVSA's come up with some new ones lately, which are pretty good. Is Chris in the basement? Not yet. You sent him the link, right, Matt?
Yes, I did.
All right. I don't know what he's done because I didn't know if we were going to end or play the interview. We kind of trailed off into Vegas. Chris Thompson, do you want to come on here? There is the link if anyone wants to come on here and talk, because Matt's got to leave in a little while. Oh, we can't have Biden in the basement. I'm going to click you into the stream, Chris, but you don't have your avatar up. You got your face. Okay, so you knew that? This is Truth Tracker, also known as Flight Life, who I told you built that interactive map, and we're going to go live later tonight, hopefully. So, I don't know, can you guys see him on the screen already? Say hello to Chris.
Hold on 1 second. I'm getting feedback, weird feedback. Hold on 1 second.
You got to mute your YouTube and then listen through StreamYards. Usually works.
Oh wow, this is crazy.
Oh yeah, Discerning Light. I would too, but I've been following the court case and I keep checking for updates, and it's like those people in court aren't even asking about that. All they're
Hey,
arguing
Chris, can you
about
hear
is
me?
who's going to pay for what.
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but I have a feedback going on. Like I'm hearing you guys constantly over and over again.
Do you have StreamYards open and YouTube open?
I have a feedback going on. Like I'm hearing you guys constantly over and over again.
Because I
Chris, your
mute my
YouTube open?
YouTube but watch on StreamYards.
Oh yeah, that's what it is, Matt. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. I had YouTube in the background still. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So everybody welcome Chris to the show.
What's up, guys? So I'm showing my face, and for the first time in a live chat like this, I'm doing it on your stream, Kathy.
Well, you do it like when you do your other videos, not all of them, but those ones where you were, with G and stuff and doing your music. We saw your face.
Yeah, I don't usually do it like this, though. I got a green screen behind me that I've been working on. I don't know if you get how it looks to you guys. It looks pretty good from what I can see on the screen, though.
I see Truth Tracker.
Yeah, and then I got my other screen next to me. This is what I was working on. It's so weird not having my good mic set up, because usually I'm used to hearing myself, like talking, and now I don't hear myself. It's just going straight to you guys. But yeah, this is my other screen that I use usually when I'm on the live streams. But how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Matt's getting ready to go in a little bit. He's going out tonight, and then I'm just we were covering the laundry thing until we were ready to get done with this and then go on your channel later tonight. So I
Yeah.
think you might be muted because you keep moving around, but I don't hear your voice.
You talking about me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to go live tonight or not. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I keep trying to test out all this new technology I have, and it gets on my nerves so bad.
Well, we got you some more subs from this chat tonight, but I told them all that we thought it was maybe going to be 9, but sometimes you got busy getting your stuff done perfect, and it didn't happen. So at least they subscribed, and I told them to hit the notifications.
Well, thank you,
Angela
Gabby.
G, hello.
Yeah, I see a lot of the same people in this chat, too, and some new people. What's up,
we
everybody?
got a lot of the Vegas crowd in here, and then Fran came over from your channel, and a couple other people in here came from your channel.
Oh, yeah. What's the latest? Anything?
Well, we got an update from Brian Enton on Twitter, who usually has the pretty, most up-to-date stuff. He says he interviewed Northport police, and the headline is, "The notebook they believe is salvageable. They think it is purely coincidence the Laundries found Brian's personal items at the reserve, and police never followed Brian in the Mustang when he went to the reserve." And then he says more to come later. So that's the last update on that.
So you think it's a suicide note or something?
I don't have any idea what's going to be in this notebook. It could be a suicide note. It could be an apology note to Gabbie or her parents. Or it could just be a notebook. If he was out there for a while, like if he didn't go out there to kill himself and then just changed his mind when he got sick of hiding or got attacked by an alligator, he could have just been out there making drawings or writing like journaling or whatever. So it's like, I'm real curious to know what's in his little book.
But we all know that he was super stressed out. So even if you're an artist and you're drawing, your art's inspired by your emotion. So,
yeah.
So he probably, I don't know, I think he probably wrote some stuff in it. Probably.
Well, you get lonely when you're out there, like that movie Castaway, where Tom Hanks was stuck forever, the FedEx employee. And it's like, he's playing with the ball, calling it Wilson, and he's doing all this stuff. Because if you're out there hiding and you're by yourself for a while, it's like you do need interaction.
Right. I'm telling you, I'm still with the theory. I was just stopping by because I know you guys have been on for a while, but I just wanted to say hi and stop by your stream and everything. But I'm still with the theory that the dad knew something about the death of Brian. That's about where I am.
Well, I mean, anything's possible. It's a crapshoot.
Definitely a crapshoot, Matt.
When you see all these red flags going up, and it's just red flags since the get-go. So who knows?
It might be a whole tumble pile of the coincidences, but it's like all these reality TV people getting involved, and it's just too weird from the very beginning.
Yeah, I seen something today. Another thing I really hate is like when people make like comparative things. Like I seen a couple today who their son, or I believe it was either their son or their daughter, was missing, and it was a black couple. And then there was 1,000 people in the comments section, and they're all saying, "Oh, look, Gabby Petito, all this attention on them, and look, here we are, black people, and we're not getting looked at." I know that's a whole different subject, but that eats me up so bad, because I don't feel like anybody was motivated by race or anything like that.
Well,
at
I've
all.
seen a lot of things like that about just missing people in general. I've seen a couple like YouTube groups that it has nothing to do with black or white, but they just have all these posters of all these missing kids, and they're like, why isn't Dog the Bounty Hunter and Joe Walsh and all the news media trying to find these kids? So they're not really even all talking about color, but it's like apparently there's a crap load of missing kids out here that nobody's looking for.
Right. And I don't think Gabby's case was because she was white, why it got so much attention. I think it had a lot to do with her being a vlogger. She had a following, and then
I think it was her dad. Her dad got pretty vocal.
Yeah.
And once Dr. Phil heard her dad put him on national TV, everybody knew about it.
Right. And like I'm interested in helping like as many cases as I can. That's why I was looking into like the Kylan and Crystal case at when I was looking at the Gabbie case, because I have interest in that. And I just think when people do stuff like that, it really it just divides. It divides people, and I don't like it.
Oh yeah, we have different people in our chat than we have in your chat room. So I just wanted to say, when he brought up Kylan and Crystal, there is a newlywed couple, and there's another man named Robert that all were killed in the same area within weeks of Gabbie. So we're wondering if, there's some connection. Maybe Brian didn't even kill her. Maybe they got in a fight and he left, and maybe some serial killer whacked all four of these people. So it's like, the police keep saying there's no connection, but I keep looking at this timeline going, I don't know, that's kind of weird. All in the same basic area.
Yeah. I agree. And even if they're even looking at like Kylan and Crystal, for anybody in this chat and on Kathy's channel or watching, how they died, if anybody hasn't looked into it, is they were shot to death half naked in a pond close to where Gabbie and Brian were, but not to build a connection to Gabbie and Brian, but just look at the brutality of the way they were killed. Shot to death, half naked. One of them had their shirt pulled up halfway with their breast revealed, and they were brutally shot. Like, I don't know the exact count, but like one was shot like 6 times. One was shot in the face, I believe. It's horrible.
Are you talking about the newlyweds or someone
else?
Yeah,
Kylan and Crystal.
Okay, I didn't dig into. I knew they got shot, but I didn't dig into the gruesomeness of theirs.
Yeah. There's a lot of gruesome facts about that, Kathy. If you read up on it, I know you like to read up on that.
I loved the gruesome. I was telling him earlier about the body farms we talked about in your channel yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the more gruesome, the better.
One time I met a girl and she was telling me, I'm so into mortician, being a mortician and showing me these videos. She used to freak me out.
Oh, when I was in early years of high school, like 9th grade, and we had a career planning class, and you had to pick a job, go to the place, interview the people, see if you could spend a week on the job with them, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I went mortician funeral home. I was all down for it. I like totally dead bodies. When I worked at the hospital, I was in the morgue all the time. I didn't even work in the morgue. I just went there to talk to my friends that worked in there and hang. But yeah, I'm like, the dead body thing, it doesn't bother me. Blood doesn't bother me. I've worked at a hospital. I've worked with hospice, people dying at home, and it's not like I'm a sick person, I guess. It's just like it doesn't faze me because I'm used to it. But even as a kid, it didn't really bother me. But no, I didn't cut up animals or anything like that when I was a child. But yeah, I could watch like really scary movies and not, freak out or have nightmares.
Oh, I love scary movie. I love scary. Well, the only one I really don't like is The Exorcist. I can't get down. I had nightmares about The Exorcist growing up. But yeah, but I used to work as a tow truck driver a while back ago, and I'm from the city of Baltimore, and you know how Baltimore is real known for violence and stuff like that. And a lot of my calls were through the Baltimore City Police Department. And I would have to go pick the cars up of the crime scenes, and I would get in the cars sometimes, and they would have bullet holes straight in the front windshield. Sometimes when I pull up on the scene, the cops would say, "Don't get in the car. There's blood all over the car." And like for another, it kind of gave me PTSD about it a little bit. Another car I picked up, a guy got attacked by 4 guys with sledgehammers, and they beat him to death in the car, smashed the car all up. I saw this in real life, but
this might bother me a little bit.
I didn't see the violence, but I was called to go there to pick the vehicle up after the incident. So someone got shot. Right, like another person I seen went through the front windshield, but they didn't go through the whole windshield. So when I picked the car up, their face was embedded in the windshield. Not their face, but the imprint, and then the hair.
Okay, yeah, you're seeing way more gruesome stuff than me, because I'm watching it either on TV or, like I said, at the morgue, they're already dead, stuff like that. I've never, seen somebody, from a serious crime scene. We see the gunshot victims come into the emergency room, but we don't see their car and the actual location where the scene happened. So yeah, that I don't know how I'd like that tow truck thing.
Yeah. What, like I was saying, and one of the people had gone halfway through the glass, and their hair was still all the way embedded around the glass. They didn't go through the glass. They hit the glass, and it stopped
It
them.
just made a head spot.
Yeah, it made a head spot in the glass, and then all their hair was embedded in the cracks of the glass. Horrible stuff. And I used to think like you, I could handle it. Like, oh, I'll be all right. And nah, I couldn't handle it.
I kind of think I might like it if it wasn't a tragedy. I mean, like if I was a police officer and went into a house where, I don't know, just say like a guy was beating his wife and the wife just let him have it. I wouldn't care how smashed up he was on the walls or anything, but I wouldn't want to go into a house where like somebody went in and killed a bunch of children or
Yeah.
innocent people. You know, it's like if the guy's guilty, I kind of don't think it would bother me as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I
Like if it's a
agree.
sad car accident, it's like that's traumatic. But if you find out it was a serial killer that had the accident, it's like, oh yeah, get me some pictures of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll jump back off here. I know you guys want to get done. I just wanted to stop in and say hi to Kathy and hi to Matt and hi to everybody in the chat. And I'm not sure if we're gonna go live tonight. Maybe Kathy will talk me into it because she always does. But I appreciate you guys having me on.
Will.
She probably will.
You never know.
Right.
I won't go live unless Chris goes live tonight. But I'm going to spend tonight, if we don't go live, digging into the newlyweds. Because Fran and those guys in the chat want us to make a video about it.
Okay.
So I told them I'd dig up some facts first. I mean, I know a little bit, but I didn't dig into it like you did.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can help you out, so message me. But I'm getting out of here. I'll see you guys later.
All right, send me a message if we're going to go live tonight. And Matt, you have fun when you go out tonight. Don't get in trouble.
Oh, I won't.
If you need bail, you know.
No. I don't get out. I don't go out and cause any
You don't
trouble.
have that kind of fun?
No.
All right, we're going to go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you thumbs it up. If you haven't subscribed to Flight Life, let me put his link in here one more time. Make sure you subscribe to him, because we do a lot of lives on there. Me and Matt were on there last night. So here is his link one more time if you don't have it. And I'm going to drop the link for that interactive map that he made where we worked on the timeline and he put it all on a map. And this is like really cool. So if you don't have this, grab it and bookmark it. Hi, Funny Frank. You did miss it all. Okay, everybody, have a good night. Oh, Timothy, you missed it too. You have to watch back from the beginning. We were talking about you, Timothy. Oh, Funny Frank, you changed your name. M5, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, Timothy, you have some more points for the map. We might go live tonight on Flight Life, but he's working on some new technical stuff, so it might end up being pushed to tomorrow. But make sure you've got your notifications turned on his channel so that if we go live, you'll catch it, and then you can give him the new points for the map. Or you can email him. Hang on. I don't know if you wrote down his email, but let me grab it. Because he goes through his emails and then he'll put more points on the map too. He always has his email address in all the videos except this one I clicked on. That's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not a newer one, because I always pull his links right out of his things when we're live and give them to everybody. Aha, I found it. Yeah, if you have any more points for the map or anything you can think of or that you see that needs added or removed or anything, it's kind of a work in progress. Here's the email for Flight Life. Just email the information to him because he's the one that updates the map. The map's actually his. Oh, Funny Frank says they're covering up Ed Buck's connection to Iran-Contra. I don't know who Ed Buck is. Oh, Dennis Hoff. Yeah, I know about all that. I'm going back up through here. Okay, Funny Frank's M5. I'm seeing who changed their names. Okay, we're going to sign off. Everybody, good night. Thank you for being here.
Good night,
Like
everyone.
I said,
Thanks for coming.
subscribe to Flight Life. Hit the notifications, hit the like on this video, and everybody have a good, safe night. And like I said, we might go live again tonight, but he's not sure. So if
Good night,
we do,
Angela.
we have Flight Life channel.
Good night, Angelica.
Good night, Angela G. Good night, Angelica. Good night, M5. Timothy, who's still here now? 17 are still watching. So
Me too, Angela. Me too, Angela. I really enjoyed it last night too.
Last night was awesome. If you watched last night and liked it, go and watch the one that we did right before that, because it was like the one that was like last night was built upon the night. It wasn't the night before; it was like 2 nights before. But they'll be in order on his channel. But yeah, that map thing and his Instagram slideshow is just phenomenal, and he's still perfecting it. I mean, he still makes changes as he goes along, but it's really cool.
Alrighty.
Tim, did you get? I put his email up there. If you scroll up, so you can email him those other points you have. All right, I'm signing off. Everybody have a good night, and thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.